Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of my Vim tutorial. The first video we went over the basics of Vim, right? How to move around in a Vim, how to shift between the modes of normal, insert, and visual, how to copy and paste and jump lines and move to the beginnings of lines and search for stuff and replace stuff. So the second one here is going to be more about how to make it more useful and look better. So what I did is I removed all of my vim.vimrc. It doesn't exist, and there is no vim folder. So again, if we do something like vim.xresources, you'll see that this is vanilla vim. So first thing we need to do is we need to make a directory called vim. And we can go ahead and cd there. And obviously it's empty. And we need to talk about how we want to load plugins. So if we want something like vim-airline, we need to have something to install it. I think it looks great. I really want to, I think it's a default feature for me. I need it. So how do we install it? So if we go down here, we have a couple options. We can use Pathogen, we can use Neo Bundle, and I've never used any of these. I mean, I've pretty much just used the first two. If we use Neo Bundle, you would need to have something in vimrc. So literally, we don't even have a vimrc yet. So let's back to home. Vim.vimrc. You would need to have something like this in your vimrc. So you do Control C and Shift Insert. I don't want that. I prefer Pathogen. So how do we install Pathogen? So essentially, there's a two-step process. So you need to have two folders inside of Vim. You need to have autoload and bundle. So what we do here is we go to let's go ahead and quit out of there and cd to .vim. It's empty now. We need to make two directories. mk directory, well, let's just go ahead and use the install script because it's there for you. It says make these two directories and then download pathogen.vim into autoload. So let's go ahead and Control C to paste or copy, Shift Insert to paste, and ls. And now we have two folders, and ls of autoload will show that there's a pathogen.vim. So we're almost done. So now we need to go back to home, cd .. And we need to vim.vimrc, which we don't even have yet. We need to add this section right here. Okay, Control C. So it says right here, if you're Brad and you don't even have a vimrc, add this. So we come over here and insert Shift Insert to paste in urxvt. And oops, there we go. Yeah, I'm using my old or my key bindings. So now we essentially have Pathogen installed. Okay, so now let's talk about vim-airline. Again, we had all these different options, but I just prefer to use Pathogen because of this. This is how easy it is to install vim-airline using Pathogen. You copy the Pathogen install script, you paste it, and pretty much all you did is ls bundle. You downloaded, well, it's clear so you can actually see it. Ls, let's do ls, the contents of Vim again, and then if you do ls bundle, there's vim-airline, and if you want to see what's in vim-airline, you just do all that. So you'll notice there's an autoload, a doc, a plugin. All of this stuff would have to be loaded at the .vim level manually, or you can just use Pathogen, use this bundle, and it takes care of all of this stuff. It's a super convenient way to do it. So now if we do, go back to home, vim.xresources, you'll see that we have airline installed. But if you note, that looks nothing like any of this stuff. Notice the arrows and these cool little fonts. You notice none of that stuff works. So we still have some work to do with making it work and make it look better. So the next thing we're going to do is just we want some themes for Vim. vim-airline. So we're going to Control-C, copy that, and paste it. Cool thing about it is it's the full path, so it doesn't matter where you are. In this case, I was home. Let's go back to Vim, ls clear so you can see, ls bundle, and as you see now we have airline themes installed. So let's see what's in it. So let's ls bundle vim-airline themes and auto load airline themes. So there's all your different themes. I use color for Gen 2 because of it has really cool colors. It has like purple and stuff, which follows the Gen 2 color scheme. We'll get to that in a minute. Next thing we're going to do is, if you have TMUX, you're going to want, if you notice, this first line is the Vim contents, and the bottom one here is the TMUX contents. So pretty much all we need to do is find the install. Pretty much just copy this, shift insert to paste it, clear so you can see, ls autoload, or sorry, bundle. And you see now we have TMUX vim, so let's just do TMUX. You see this is my base configuration, but if we do cd vim.x resources, you'll see that the TMUX now follows the airline theme. I think it looks amazing. So this is the bare bones airline theme. TMUX nicely populates it. Looks the same. Very consistent. Looks great. So those are the two things I use. And then finally is the thing called Easymotion. I use the heck out of this because it's so convenient. Let's go ahead and install it. There's a whole bunch to it. And again, this is why I consider myself like a beginner, is that I use two features of Pathogen, or of Easymotion. So let's go ahead and copy that. Again, it doesn't matter where you are, which is great because it has the full path here. And let's go ahead and do Easymotion. And then we go to .vim and bundle, and we see here we have Easymotion. And so how does it work? So let's just go back to, I'm just going to do home. It's a shortcut for cd tilde. And clear, and let's go vim.x resources. So normally, say I wanted to go from this line, well, first of all, if you don't have any numbers over here, so go down to command mode. Actually, I'm going to, so I don't confuse everybody, I'm going to quit out of this and exit TMUX. So if we go home and vim.x resources, so if you look here, there's no line numbers, and so what we want to do is hit a colon, set number, and now we have numbers. And then I believe we can go set relative number. Yeah, so that's what I usually do is if we're going to be here, say I want to go down to, okay, I'm here, call it anywhere. I want to go down to this power line. I want to put the cursor right there. What we would do is we would say, okay, we need to go down to 14 lines. So we do 14J, actually 15. No, that's right. And then forward to capital P, so FP. So let me do that again, just so you can kind of see it. Now we're here, we want to go to this spot right there. We would go 16J. Well, we happen to be there. Let's go back up here. Again, we want to go right here to power line. We would go, in this case, would be 14J, F, capital P, and we'd be there. So that took, what, 5 or 6 inputs. With Easymotion, we have a thing called a leader. By default, if you don't have it remapped, it's //. So we would hit // and hit W. And you can see where that power line was, is now says BE. So just type BE, and we're right there. Again, the only problem with it is if you look, // W, it only goes down. I kind of wish it went up too, but it's only down. The other thing you can use it for, so I use // W, or leader W, and then there's leader S. And then we want to search for something. Let's search for capital H for Hermit. So let's just go capital H, and you see every time capital H is listed, it gives a letter. So I want to go there, I just hit G, and I'm there. We go \\/ W. I want to search for capital P, and you see power line, every time it was listed, I wanted to go to this one here, so I hit L. So it's super useful. It's more convenient. I mean, you can learn, 20J, F something to get to a line, or capital F to go back, or you can just use Easymotion. It eliminates the need for mouse completely from Vim, and I think it's really useful. So again, I'd say I want to go up here to anti-aliasing. So I hit \\S. Let's look for A. Sorry about that. Let's get out of that because I just lost my train of thought. So \\S. I want to go up here to this anti-aliasing. So I hit A. I see it's a semicolon Q, and I'm right there. It's super convenient. So, okay, we're done. I think that's all the plugins that I use. So now that we're done with that, you pretty much have a functional Vim at this point. But we need to really work on the vimrc. There's so many options. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rm/rf.vim and .vimrc, lns, dropbox, tux, configs.vim to here, and rc to here. So now you see these are my pre-configured everything. If we look at ls.vim, you're going to see I do have colors. I did add colors. And ls.vim colors. You can see I did add quite a few, and you can go online and you can look for, if you like certain colors, or anything that online, you can search for cool Vim colors. You pretty much just copy the contents of those .vims into the colors folder, and you're good to go. So what is certainly different is vim.vimrc. So set paste, if you paste stuff with indenting, if you don't have paste on, it can screw up like the order. It'll paste like every time a tab happens, everything shifts right. It ends up kind of pasting funny where everything's pulled way away from the edge. I just leave paste on, and in airline it's this section right here. So if I take off paste, which is again toggled to F2, so if I hit F2 it goes away. So when I'm in paste mode, it just adds this little section right here. Relative number is what we just talked about, where whatever line you're on has the number and everything's relative to it. Mouse A means what I just did, is I can click somewhere and have it apply if I'm feeling lazy, or just have a mouse in my hand and don't want to grab the keyboard. T256 is make sure you get all these cool colors. Pathogen infect is exactly like we did in our baseline Vim. It's just going to enable pathogen to work, so that all you need to do is git clone into bundle. vim-airline, so you see here I've got all kinds of great, cool, awesome fonts here. So if I were to, basically all that does is allows something like urxvt to have, well, let me just show you. So if I comment all this out, I save and quit, and I go back into it, you'll see all my fonts are all gone. So if you're struggling with fonts and cool characters in Vim, Powerline, or Airline, just go to my config, and I'm cheating a little bit here. I'm using my shortcuts that I'm going to talk about later. Go ahead and quit out of there and go back in. You'll see that all the fonts are back and all the cool arrows and stuff. So that's essentially how to make airline fonts work in urxvt. If you're using something like console, so let's do this again. Let's comment that out, save it, exit, and we use something like console, and we do vim.vimrc. It'll work. Oh, even then it won't work. See, again, you're even missing some of the fonts here as well, even in console, which is why you want to go in here and make sure that you're using all this stuff. Okay, so now if we move on, and I just cheated a little bit. But anyways, if you want different themes, this is how you define them. For airline themes, you have this let G airline theme equals. We can change this if we want. Easy way to do this is, I'm cheating again, I'm using shortcuts, but if we want Molokai, so we just basically insert quote, come down here, hit that, save and quit, and then go back in. We have Molokai. We have it both down here and on the vimrc. So if we go back up here, I personally like IR black, oops, insert that, insert this, and do that. And oops, I just cheated again. I'm using my shortcuts, but this is the one I like to use. But Molokai looks really good. I think it's the most important or most popular color for Vim. So that's how you change your themes. These are just kind of tells you how far you want each tab to work and all that type of stuff. So now we talk about the leader. When we did Easymotion, we used // which is by default. I prefer it to be space because if you're in normal mode, space doesn't do anything. So why not use it as a leader? So instead of doing // W and S, we do space S. And let's search for that funny character there. So we can go R and go here. If we want to do space W and we want to go to commenting, we just JS, we're there. So it's just easier because it's under your thumb all the time. So we talk about different types of mapping. There's I for insert mode, N for normal mode, and V for visual mode. So I can't get any I maps, I no remaps, I remap, whatever. I can't get any of it to work. So I should be able to use leader Q for escape. And actually I don't need this. I tried it and it didn't work, so we'll delete it. We save it. I should be able to go leader Q. Oops, sorry. I just, while in insert mode, leader Q. And what you see there is it just goes space Q. So I don't know how to change it, IMAPs, but in no remaps are easy. So now we talk about tabs. So you can make a new tab inside of Vim just by colon, the command prompt. We do tab new, and we see we have a tab up here. And we can go tab next, and we can go tab prev, and we can move around that way. Or you can remap TN as tab new, so just hit TN, 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 okay? Quit. And we can go J, K, H, and L. So if we do TN, we can go TJ, oops, TJ, 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 TK, TK, TH goes all the way to the right, TL goes all the way to the left. So that's how to move around with tabs according to my vimrc. Okay, this is the one I use all the time, hundreds of times, just every time I have anything open. I have leader S to save, so leader S, just saved. Instead of doing :W, I just hit space S. The other one is space Q, and if you notice it's Q exclamation point, meaning if you make changes and hit :Q exclamation point, it doesn't save changes, doesn't ask you to save changes. I've had things corrupt while in Vim, and I accidentally saved it, and it deleted the entire configuration file, no backup. There may be a way to recover, but it was gone. So I only want to save when I specifically hit leader S. So I can do all of this, escape, hit leader Q. Oh, I screwed up my leader Q. Let's undo everything here. Well, I'm just going to do it this way. Oh, I had a caps lock on. Okay, so leader Q, and if I go back in there, you notice it's not there anymore. So let me do that without screwing it up by hitting caps lock. So put that in there, escape, leader Q. I'm gonna go back in, it did not save. I need to specifically tell it to save with leader S. Commenting I use a whole bunch. Essentially what this does in either normal mode, we can just hit leader 1 for an exclamation point, which would be like X resources commenting. Oops. And we can do quotes, which would be here for vimrc. We can just hit leader quote to comment that out. Or in bash, we hit leader 3. We just commented that line out in bash. And down here for leader minus to comment out in Lua code. And then once we're that all works obviously with visual too. You can highlight a whole bunch, hit leader quote, and it's all commented out. Undo. If you were to do that and you wanted to uncomment it, you go here and hit leader 6, that uncomments. Essentially the way that works is if I had 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and I make it so you can see. I can go here and hit leader 6. I can do it again, V leader 6. It just deletes the line. Oops. So that's how that works. If you hit ZZ after everything, GZZ, so if you do page up and stuff like that, it just makes it centered. So instead of it being at the very bottom of the screen, it centers it. If you do a search for leader, every time you hit it, it stays in the center of the screen. If you don't do that, it can kind of walk from the top to the bottom as it goes along. Relative number toggle, I mean, I don't really use that. I just never deleted it. So here's a really good one. Say you make a change. Oh, I commented that. So I want to make a change. I want to save it. And normally, in order to reload, you'd have to quit and then go back in. Well, if you reload Vim, which is source my vimrc, we just do leader RV. I just reloaded. So let me give you an example. So if we go up here and we want to do Molokai, remember last time we changed them. We can do, okay, space quote X, go down here, space quote, those are commenting, right? And let's change it to Molokai. So everything's Molokai, so we do space S to save, and then space RV to reload Vim. It's really cool. Works very well. Space S, space RV. And then finally, if you are, yeah. Okay, so here, so say you're in, the way this edit vimrc, or in this case, I actually did this just a minute ago, so let's do quote edit rc.lua space reload vim. You can hit space EA, space EA. I just opened a tab with my rc.lua in it, just to kind of show you how that works. Space Q to quit. We can copy these, paste them, delete, lowercase o, forward R, change word WI. And we're going to go to forward RC. Actually, let's just do space S. We're going to look for R. We want to go to D, change word WI. So there's kind of like the putting it all together that what we've been doing the last two videos. So if we space S to save, space RV to reload, I should be able to, ooh, sorry. And let's go capital F to A. Capital F to A, capital F to A. I should have just did, let me do that again to make this. So 3 capital F A, that would have been the more efficient way to do it. Replace that with W, I'm sorry, replace that with W. Space S to save, space RV to reload. I should be able to hit space EW and open my we.lua, space EW. Oops. Oh, sorry, just space once. So space EW. There goes my wee Lua. So there you go. Space EA. There's my wee or rc.lua. And we can do the same thing with edit vim. I can't do it here because it's already open. So let's just do space Q. Let's go to vim.xresources and say we're in here and we want to change the theme. We say space EV and we want to go up and go down, and let's say we want to space W JC space quote, come down here, X to uncomment. Let's do a space S. Let's look for IR JD. I know it's a little hard to see, so let's do that again. We're here, we just commented this out, space S, look for I. We wanted to go to IR black, so JK. 0 to go to the front of the line, space quote. K, X to delete, space S to save, space RV, go back. T, J to go back to resources. And we just basically, that's all the stuff it takes to change configs and all that type of stuff. So that's putting it all together. T, J to go to the next, space Q to quit, space Q to quit, vim.vimrc. Let's do, so you can see, I'm going to move everything up here. So I want to change it back to color. So we do space S, look for K. We want to go to color, so we hit Q, 0, X, J, space quote. And we want to go back to Molokai, so we do WW, or space W, N for Molokai, 0, space quote, J, X, space S to save, space RV to reload Vim. So hopefully that you can follow that, but that's essentially how I use Vim. So let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer if I can, and we'll talk to you next time.